Tonight on The Factor Uncensored, a new property tax proposal aimed at tackling homelessness is sparking big questions in Dallas. But could a homeless tax like this help with Houston's homeless problem along with the rest of the country? Then a viral photo puts a popular Houston doorman and social media influencer at the center of controversy. He says a customer repeatedly used a racial slur. So what really happened that night? He joins us live to tell his side of the story on The Factor Uncensored.
The Isiah Factor Uncensored starts now.
Welcome and thank you for joining us for The Factor Uncensored tonight. First up, the Iran ceasefire is hanging by a thread. President Trump rejects Iran's latest peace proposal, calling it totally unacceptable as tensions rise over Iran's nuclear program and control of the Strait of Hormuz. The big concern, that key oil route and what happens if it shuts down. Gas prices could climb even higher. Right now, the national average is around $4.52 a gallon. And tonight, Trump says he wants to suspend the federal gas tax, but Congress would have to approve it. So we ask, what's next? And remember, we want to hear from you tonight. Text us at the number on your screen, if you can see it there, 713-581-9914. Joining us tonight, State Representative Ron Reynolds, host Angela Box, and analyst Dietrich von Biedenfeld. We're going to make you a doctor today. And Professor Dr. David Branham. Glad to have you guys here on The Factor. So your thoughts about the president's idea? I think it's 18%. That could save us a huge chunk at the gas pump.
It could. And here's the deal with the ceasefire and the Iran deal in the first place. The deal is that Iran's not going to have uranium, period, down at the end. Like, that's over. We're not going to give you pallets of cash like Obama did. We're not going to say, hey, pinky swear, and 15 years you can make a nuclear weapon, maybe. But no, that's not going to happen. Regards to the gas tax, I think it's a great idea. President Trump is always looking to put the American people first, and he knows this is hurting. He also knows, you know, pragmatically the midterms are coming up, and what will be very interesting to see is if states like California, which is completely falling apart,
$6 a gallon there.
Oh, easy, if not more, and their taxes are through the roof there. It's going to be very interesting to see if these blue states will lower their taxes, and it's also going to be interesting to see, because they are going to take it to Congress, if Democrats are going to back this. My guess is no. Because anything Trump does, they reflexively say no, because they all have stage 11 TDS.
Representative Reynolds?
Isiah, that's ridiculous. First of all, Trump is the reason why we have these highest gas prices anyway, because of this unnecessary war. Second, the Democrats in March proposed the suspending the gas tax. It was Democrats that came out with this idea. So now it's a great idea because Trump is saying we should do it, and Republicans are jumping to do it now all of a sudden. This should have been happened. When I filled my tank up today, like many Americans, I felt it. It hurt. I've paid over $100 today, over $5 a gallon for premium gasoline. Now, what happens when people are already living paycheck to paycheck, can't pay rent, barely can afford those eggs and milk? It needs to happen, and I do believe that there's bipartisan support for it, but we need to find a long-term solution. Here's what's going to happen in the meantime. We're losing about $1 billion. This money is for federal highway construction and helping to make sure that we have the funds for mobility. We're going to lose all that money, but right now people need the relief.
All right. Doctors, your thoughts?
I think it's a good idea to cut taxes. I mean, it's Keynesian economics where, you know, you have a time when prices are really high, people are struggling, you cut the taxes. And then when they go back down, you can put them back in. So I think overall, this is not a bad idea. And to Angela's point, I think, you know, states like California, they're over 70 cents a gallon for a tax. And they're sitting there, they're showing the pictures of the $6 plus a gallon gasoline. It's time for them to cut that too.
And when we take a look at California, we know the 18% that would come from the federal government. The remaining is California?
Tax. That's state tax, yes. Like Texas is 20 cents a gallon. California is 3.5 times higher than that. And so those are states that are picking on gas. They want to lower the gas. I understand they want to lower consumption because they've had pollution problems, especially in Los Angeles, since the 60s. So I understand that, but now is the time to give their people some relief as well. And so I think cutting the tax in this situation is a good idea.
All right. Dr. Von Biedenfeld, your thoughts? Why are you laughing, first of all?
Because on a rare occasion, Dr. Brennan and I disagree. And, of course, the two doctors here, we haven't seen anybody higher than Andrew Jackson. Oh, I'm 100% capitalistic and Keynesian, but I don't think this is the way to do it because we're talking about $12 to $17 billion out of the national revenue, and we've got aircraft carriers in the Strait of Hormuz that are having fires and plumbing issues. So those billions of dollars could go towards our national defense as opposed to the $4 a week that the average consumer is going to save. You can't get a hamburger for that. You can't put two fillet of fish together on that one. Now, again, I don't know what $100 looks like. We're in the
So do you tell the American people at this point, this is the price of doing business, you just have to swallow it?
You have to, and I think the more pragmatic aspect, of course, while long-term it strategically isn't great, is tapping into the Strategic National Petroleum Reserve to increase the supply, and that way to match the demand and then lower the prices that way, because these taxes go towards things like roads maintenance. So we need that infrastructure. At a certain point, strategically, you end up with potholes and other challenges, and so these taxes don't just go towards some sort of climatological mitigation or whatever. They go towards very tangible areas of infrastructure. As a former city councilman, I can tell you it costs money to run a city. So I agree with the facts Dr. Brandon mentioned, but I would say that this is probably not the pragmatically strategic way to resolve it.
Angela, you're chomping at the bit.
I am chomping a little, and I'm going to have to disagree with my legit Mensa friend, Dietrich over here, because I think if you cut these taxes, it's not just going to be $4 a week. I mean, a lot of people commute long stretches in Houston, especially, and Texas in general. And we're talking about money that's going to be put back into people's pockets that are then going to be able to, they're going to be able to either consume more, buy something else with it, which is going to, increase revenue. You lower taxes, you raise revenue to the government, generally speaking, all the time anyway. So it's a temporary solution. I think that Iran's going to have to come to the table eventually because Trump's not playing games.
All right, Ron, wrap us up.
There's no end with this war in sight. The Strait is going to continue to be blocked. Trump is not agreeing to any deals yet, so people are going to need relief right now. I know people, I have constituents that are not able to pay rent, that barely can pay their light. So we need relief, and we need it now.
All right. We'll continue this conversation in just a moment with our guests. Next, President Trump says he is seriously considering making Venezuela the 51st state of the United States. Why he says it makes sense, and is this even possible? Angela says yes. And remember, I want to hear from you. Text us at the number there on your screen, 713-581-9914. Do not call. You're watching The Factor Uncensored. Return to sender.
Don't call me.
If you're injured here in Houston,
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Now to another story making headlines tonight. President Trump says he's seriously considering making Venezuela the 51st state of the United States. The comments are raising questions about U.S. foreign policy, oil, and whether this is political strategy or something more. So we ask, is this a real possibility or just talk? Back with us tonight, State Representative Ron Reynolds, Angela Box, political analyst Dr. Dietrich von Biedenfeld, and Professor David Branham. So, Dr. von Biedenfeld, let's start down there with you. Make you first.
I mean, it's legally possible. The reality is that we've seen Article 1 and Article 3 very deferential to this president and the administration. I think we've done similar things before. While we probably don't want to revamp the flag, I think that's probably a pretty simplistic but realistic reason that we haven't added other states before, whether it be Canada or Greenland. At the end of the day, we've got fiefdoms as well in our relationships with Puerto Rico. We've had them historically with the Philippines. So while we may not want to legally, constitutionally, and ratify this as a 51st state, I think it's very feasible to create some sort of protectorate state and to have some sort of reciprocity where they are able to take advantage of our national security apparatus, of our economic structure, and our overall sort of political stability, as arguable as that might be right now. And then we are able to take advantage of their oil resources and their strategic position in the Monroe Doctrine Western Hemisphere.
So, Ron Reynolds, do you think, as people say on social media, this is another damn distraction from what's going on in this country?
This is another damn distraction from those Epstein files.
Oh my God.
Trump doesn't want us talking about anymore.
I didn't know you were going to go that deep.
He's going to release the UFO files. He's going to do everything else but focus on releasing the files. So yes, this is a distraction. This is ridiculous. This is political theater. This is never going to happen. If there was ever a 51st state, it'd be probably Canada. But Venezuela, this is not real. This is more of Trump not being realistic, not understanding really anything about foreign policy, and distracting from the real issues. People haven't painted the pump. People, his poor approval ratings, losing all of these special elections. There's anything you can think of, but this is not real, Isaiah.
All right, Dr. Branham, you're shaking your head. Why?
There's a lot better chance of Venezuela being the 51st state than it would be for Canada, because I mean there's a path there. With Canada, there's a lot less of a path. But this to me is particularly scary, because the reason why Venezuela is valuable as a 51st state is because of the oil. And Venezuela isn't real valuable when we got $50 barrel oil, but we have 100. All of a sudden they are. So this is telling me that Trump's thinking about the obliteration that he's been talking about with Iran. Carg Island could be up in flames really quick. And then Venezuela would be a very nice way to be alternate as far as oil goes. Even China is making moves to make sure that they don't have to have Iranian oil anymore. So this is a possibility of destruction. And I'm hoping it's a bluff. I'm hoping he's sending a message to Iran to settle, but I don't think so. I think this is him thinking this is something that's going forward, and the consequences are going to be pretty incredible.
Angela, one of our viewers says this is a sad day in America. Anything Trump says, we condone. Do you condone this?
I just think it's hilarious that for a leader that his entire professional life has always thought outside the box, pun intended. I think this is a very interesting idea. As David was saying, they have 40 trillion with a T in oil reserves in Venezuela, and I'm of the opinion that if you liberate a country, you should get paid for that in some way, unlike what we did in the Iraq War. Even though the screeching harpies of Code Pink and the little beta males who are undernourished and allegedly biologically male claim that we were taking no blood for oil, all that crap. We didn't take anything from Iraq. I say it might be a landlocked country. It may be a long shot, but I mean, Hawaii was its own country. Alaska was owned by Russia, and they are very far away. And I like Dietrich's idea of making it a protectorate, a territory like Puerto Rico. I think it could be a very interesting idea, and he doesn't just say things willy-nilly. He does not.
All right, thank you guys. Out of time. Appreciate it, Dr. Branham. Nice try, though. One of our viewers says it's all talk. He's not God, talking about the president. And next, Dallas leaders are looking at a possible property tax proposal to address the homelessness crisis. But here's the bigger question. Could a tax like this come come to Houston and cities across the country. Remember, we want to hear from you. Text us at the number on your screen, 713-581-9914. We'll be back.
At America.
This program is being brought to you by Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer.
Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. How far are you willing to go to help the homeless? How about $5 a month in the form of a homeless tax? That's the measure being pushed by homeless advocacy groups in Dallas County. County leaders there will soon decide whether to put it on the ballot in November for a vote by homeowners. The amount would be earmarked for housing initiatives, outreach, and addressing homelessness and encampments in the area. Our question is, would it work in Houston or other parts of the country? I spoke with homeless advocate Cherie Dorr.
And we have a lot of people in our city that have issues with a lot of the homeless that are being pushed into their community since the city has recently made it illegal for the homeless to be in public space, especially downtown. But I think that this is an excellent idea, hearing about this. If you think about the normal person, the normal homeowner that throws away, $5 for Starbucks or whatnot, $5 a month taxing in order to help and assist with housing and getting a lot of our homeless on the streets into permanent housing. I think that's a wonderful thing for us to do.
And do you think the taxpayers will go for it in the last 30 seconds we have here?
Well, we're going to have a lot of people who are going to complain about it. But again, if we can work on a solution-based, which I believe that this is solution-based, again, I think it's a great idea for people to chip in $5, again, coffee or getting homeless people up off the street. I say let's get to work and get our community together and get our homeless individuals up off the streets.
Now joining us live in this discussion, Houston City Council member Dr. Carolyn Evans-Jabaz. Glad to have you here on The Factor Uncensored. This is something that's going on in Dallas County.
Right.
Could we see something? Is this a possible good idea for Houston?
Well, actually, I could support it. I believe that we have to stop talking about it, and we have to be about it. There are people that really, really need the assistance, but of course, we're faced now with the administrative fee, and we're talking about solid waste and things of that nature. So it would really have to be a ballot proposal, I believe, so that people could weigh in on it in regards to that. But I could certainly see it. It would have to be something that's Houston specific. It needs to be some accountability. We need to let people know where is this money going, not just collecting money. And so I do believe it's something that we should look at, especially, you know, with other major cities in Texas, you know, with their proposals. I think it's something that would be well worth looking at.
Now, would there be any hesitation by city leaders as a result? I think the city of Houston is looking at a deficit of like $181 million. In Dallas, in the city of Dallas, they have a deficit of about $30 million. But their county that's pushing this measure, they're fine, they're stabilized. But is that something Houston could even afford now to even talk about?
I think we should always talk about it. And certainly we have county government here as well. And so maybe they would be willing to weigh in on that initiative, because I do believe that, I mean, our homeless population in my district, certainly there are a lot of homeless people. And we keep talking about it, and we push them from one place to another place. But we want them to have stability and possible housing as well. And so if we can do that and be able to sustain it, I think it would be well worth us looking at.
From your perspective as a Houston city leader, do you feel like in your heart you guys are doing enough to address the homeless problem in the city? If not, what can you do more, aside from this possible homeless tax?
Well, we do have a homeless coalition, and I think that they do a great job. But because the problem still exists, it's obviously not enough. But I think it's something that the minds that are really, really working in that capacity need to come together so that we can try to make a real difference for people who are in those situations.
And once again, this is for Dallas County that they're considering. It hasn't passed as of yet, and it's not even on the ballot, but they're hoping to get it on the ballot in November. But you know your constituents. Do you think the people of Houston, if this became a proposal for them to vote on, that they would be willing to do it? I mean, almost homelessness has to permeate every community for people to care.
Well, actually, I think if we make it relevant to each community, because there are many communities that don't have the problem, but then on the other hand, there are many that do. And so, again, people act as if they have compassion about the homeless population, but this is a time that we may be able to look at something that could actually help them. And I think that that would be very beneficial. Now, again, you know, I said, now, why is he calling me over here and he knows we're already fighting about this $5
you call me messy.
fee.
You say I'm trying to be messy.
Yeah,
huh?
I think so.
You're probably right.
So I just don't think it should be a council initiative. I think it should be something that the city should weigh in on and do it in the same manner that Dallas County is doing it, and that's to take it to the ballot.
All right. Council member, thank you for joining us. Maybe you'll take this to the city.
Well, they're
we'll
looking.
be back with more Factor in just a moment.
I guess they're looking, right?
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Let's get to some of your comments that you guys have sent in regards to the homeless segment. I'm not that selfish to not help the homeless. I'm good with the idea. You hear that, council member, when you take that back to City Hall. Isiah, these topics and their opinions are totally ridiculous tonight. Trump taking Venezuela as 51st state, that's just the beginning. Isiah, the issue of homelessness, people unfortunately is seen differently from city to city in Texas, but the reality is there are some people who are not willing to get off of the streets and may have mental health issues. I think it's a good idea. Pay the tax or pay the damages that come from homeless people messing up your property. Yeah. Never been to Dallas before. First thing, Trump is a warmonger making enemies everywhere, and that's from our last segment. So I need to get my glasses straight so I can read your comments better. All right, guys, we'll be back with more Factor Uncensored in just a moment. Don't go away, and we'll be reading more of your comments. I'll bring out my magnifying glass. Also, we'll talk to the comedians about Kevin Hart enduring a roast, and did it go too far? Stay with us here on The Factor Uncensored. We'll be back.
You're watching the Isiah Factor Uncensored.
Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Kevin Hart's Netflix roast last night is going viral on social media. Comedian Tony Hinchcliffe is facing backlash after a joke that many are calling offensive. Here's what he said.
You've done good, though, Kevin. The black community is so proud of you. Right now, George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe. God bless you, Kevin. God bless this room. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you so much.
And that was just the tip of the iceberg. You know, I mean, it goes wild, it goes ham. So tonight we're asking, when does a joke cross the line, and who decides that line is being crossed? Text us on the number on your screen there, and we will read some of your comments. Let's bring in our panel, Nate, Brigitte Waugh, and comedians Blame the Comic and Ben Daniel. And Blame, congratulations. You up there with Mike Epps opening for the big guy. How was that? Really quick, really quick.
Man, amazing, man. It was everything you could imagine it to be. Backstage, just an experience all in itself. And, man, I wouldn't trade it for nothing else, man.
And congratulations. We're proud of you here at The Factor. Okay, guys, your thoughts. Let's just jump in there. What do you think about this comedian, and did he go too far?
He did. Distasteful, very poor taste. And then the fact that he was white did not help at all. That's my opinion.
Ben?
I'm gonna say first, the real victim of that joke, and I'm being serious, the real victim of Tony Hinchcliffe's joke is Cheryl Underwood. Because if this was a just world, we would be on this panel talking about how she had the set of the night, and she would be getting the push that Nikki Glaser got after the Tom Brady roast. Because she dominated that stage.
She killed it.
And that should have been the discussion. I hate that I'm here to defend like a Tony Hinchcliffe offensive joke, but first off, 3 quick things. 1, no such thing as too far in a roast. 2,
yeah.
If you're mad at Tony Hinchcliffe, you missed the entire point. Netflix put that on. Netflix had that joke in advance. Netflix cleared it specifically to create this controversy, to make people talk, to push the views. Every time you rage against this point, you feed the machine that creates the hate. Because love it or hate it, Tony Hinchcliffe sells out Madison Square Garden.
Period.
There's a demographic that is money for him. He is serving that demographic. That joke is his wheelhouse. That is what Tony Hinchcliffe does.
But that's not the first time he said something
exactly.
about
That's what they hired him to do. He did his job.
And not only that, I feel like you can say whatever you want to say, but you also have to face the repercussions of what you say.
That's
a lot of people on that roast, if you watched it, you could tell they was reading the prompter, and some people chose to like, oh no, let's skip that one, let's go past that one. You know, they had, you know, discernment over what they wanted to say. But, you know, at the same time...
Well, that calls the question, did someone write all of the roasted...
Absolutely. There's definitely writers for this roast, but as Ben was saying, look, don't make me sit up here and defend a white man, because that is not what I'm trying to do, okay? A roast is a roast. It's a roast. It's a roast. It's a roast, right? No, I will not defend a white man. A roast is a roast is a roast. And, you know, they're all there for a reason. You know, Kevin Hart approved every single thing that was on there. So if anybody gonna be mad at anybody, be mad at Kevin, but that is the art of roasting. Tony Hinchcliffe had a show called Kill Tony, Monday nights in LA. The Comedy Store went crazy. And from there, he was also a part of the Republican National Convention. I'm not saying it's right, I'm saying there's a lot of different type of humor. And with roast, the whole point is timing and tragedy. And when it's like, ooh, that's funny, but I don't know if I should be laughing at it, that's how you know it's real good.
Why don't you think the general public get the idea of a roast? A roast is
it's funny.
It's for roast you.
Let me say this though, it's always gonna take people back. That's like if I'm at a roast and I throw you in the roast and you're not there and you don't have nothing to do with it. It's like, hey, wait, that was just a random stray shot. You're like, leave me out of that. I ain't got nothing to do with that. You understand?
I mean, but everybody catch strays at roasts in general. Everybody catches a stray, and you know, everybody gets an opinion on if they like it or they don't. The truth is, a lot of people that are upset with the joke didn't even know who he was before this roast, and they've never supported his work. It's not hurting his money at all. And so it just is what it is. If anything, all the black people that was up there that was cool with it, I mean, they was cool with it.
wants to say something.
The only thing I'll say is it's always funny till it hits something that it hurts your feelings about.
Yeah, that's the truth.
At the end of the day, he did a Bill Cosby sexual assault joke 3 seconds before that joke, which is arguably more objectionable to women that we could have easily had a panel about. But it's like, who gets to decide the lines? The answer is there are no lines.
There was pedophile jokes, rape jokes, all kind of
You're
jokes.
describing myself.
PR perspective, it did its job. Because
and not only that,
You're talking about it today.
Jokes about Kevin Hart mother talking from the heaven, which was a ploy at his daughter. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Like it was a lot going on. Like if you really paid attention to the wordplay and things that was said. You know what I mean? So
it's like Chris Rock said, selective outrage. And that's with everything and everyone. It's always going to be selective outrage. And if you don't like it, you can just not listen. You can be upset. You can go off. And this is America, and we got the First Amendment for free speech.
Netflix can get away with it because it's subscription-based and it's not network sponsorship.
Well, like I said, it did its job, so we're talking about it. So from a PR perspective.
And what do you tell the public, though? I mean, you know.
Your
but
feelings
like they said,
don't matter.
Though, it's you either watch it or you don't watch it.
I don't
have
think
your
it's
own
necessary
opinion.
to the public. It's the critics, the people who wasn't even there. You know what I mean? Like they always got an opinion. Like, how do I get mad at something that's going on the Isiah factor, and I don't watch it, I don't attend it?
You got a clip.
You hating from the outside of the club. You can't even get in.
Really quick, that was racist to me no matter who okayed it. They wouldn't like it if a black man added Elvis to his roast.
White people don't care about racism.
They don't care, and they want the dirtiest, nastiest jokes.
We think everything's funny. We think the racial slurs y'all have for us are hilarious. Call me a cracker, I'll giggle. It doesn't bother
You see, they didn't say nothing about Trump because they'd have probably canceled it. They wouldn't have been able to do no more roasts.
That's where you don't cross the line.
Right now.
All right, thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. And still to come, a Houston doorman and influencer talks about the photo that's causing backlash for him. But first, a tragic discovery along the Texas border. 6 migrants found dead inside a train boxcar in Laredo. What happened and what this says about the danger of the journey to America to freedom. We'll be back here on The Factor Uncensored. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. The cost of the American dream for some is still followed by a trail of death in 2026. Investigators believe a half-dozen migrants are dead after trying to get into America illegally. The 6 people were found dead inside a Union Pacific cargo boxcar at a rail yard in Laredo Sunday. Authorities believe the victims, who were likely unauthorized migrants, died from extreme heat during their journey. Joining us live to talk about this tragedy is Cesar Espinosa with Fiel. Just heartbreaking. And we've seen this time and time again right here in Texas. People coming from across the borders. I think you call them coyotes. trafficking individuals, not really caring about the human cargo that they have. Your thoughts about this case and what have you learned?
Well, I mean, this has been happening for decades. It's been happening for a very long time where many times U.S. citizens or people who can cross back and forth smuggle people in. I want to make it very clear that we don't condone this behavior. In fact, we always tell people it's so dangerous. You can lose your life because we know the real consequences of people trying to enter the country illicitly. Unfortunately, it's not the first time, and it won't be the last time. Even here in Houston, a few years ago, they were right off of Harwin, they found a U-Haul with 20 migrants inside that were very close to dying, and EMS stepped in and saved their lives. And just this Thursday is the 22nd anniversary of the 19 people that were found in Victoria in the back of a semi-trailer.
I remember that horrific case.
Yeah, and that the guy eventually ended up going to jail and facing murder charges because he left folks in there. You know, one of the things that I read today that just boggles my mind is the fact that the coroner is saying that they were likely in the back of this or in this train for about 8 hours. So for 8 hours, these people suffered. These people tried to get out. They tried to ask for help, and they died a very slow, brutal death.
Now, what we saw, and according to the reports, they were sealed in, or they couldn't get out. So those who provide the path, the track to America, do they lock them in? And is that part of making sure maybe they pay when they get to America? What?
You know, it'll take 6 hours to discuss all the tactics that we heard throughout the last 25 years. But one of the tactics is that they do, in essence, kidnap them. In essence, either lock them inside of these trains or semis.
And when you say kidnap, let's just make it clear. It's not individuals that they pull out of Mexico, but these are individuals who are looking for a way, and they get stuck with this group.
Yeah, they usually, you know, somebody pays along the way, either somebody that's here or they pay themselves in order to come back over here. In some of these cases, they get taken to safe houses where they get taken for ransom, and the family has to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to get them out. In other cases, they get brought into areas like Houston where they are human trafficked into working either in factories or as nannies or things like that to pay off their debt to these coyotes. So it's a really intricate system. It's a really a large system that has been able to grow and to prosper because of the lack of just immigration laws that allow people to come in an orderly fashion. You know, people want to argue. They want to say, you know, well, the border is open, et cetera, et cetera. But in reality, we're facing some of the one of the most secure borders in our entire history. And because of that, you're going to see more and more of these cases of people trying to figure out ways to come and then dying along the way.
And we've seen houses here in the city of Houston that individuals, once they're trafficked out of Mexico, they end up in these houses where they're held hostage there, and they can't get out until the money is paid. And they live in horrible conditions. And we have 40 seconds.
They live in squalor. They live in unhoused conditions. There's a lot of women get sexually abused in these houses. So unfortunately, there's still a lot to unpack. There's still a lot that must be done to keep these things from happening and to allow immigration to be more orderly.
All right, Cesar Espinosa Whitfield, thank you for joining us and going through this tragedy with us. Coming up here on The Factor, a viral photo puts a Houston doorman in the spotlight. He says a customer used a racial slur. So what really happened? Sound like that video. What really happened? Yeah, bugs flying in my mouth. We'll talk about it next here on The Factor. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. A popular Houston doorman and social media influencer in downtown Houston has found himself on the defensive. This is after this photo made it on social media. Jonathan Marchbank says this encounter happened on Cinco de Mayo, and when a customer refused to leave the bar after being repeatedly asked, and then that customer eventually called him the N-word multiple times. While a picture speaks 1,000 words, what this one is saying has led to the popular Instagrammer facing some backlash from many of his fans out there. Joining us now live, Jonathan is here. So what happened? Take us back to Cinco de Mayo, and how did that photo unfold?
Well, it was closing time. So one of the staff members, he came up to me at the end of the night, and he was telling me there was a guy inside, and he was messing with some of the customers. So he said, hey, can you get him out? So
that's your job, to get them out?
Yeah, so I went, I escorted him out. I got him out safely, no problems. Got him out, pushed him out, and then when I'm outside, he kept trying to come back in. And I wouldn't let him in, so he got upset, and he called me the N-word. But I didn't retaliate. I just let him, continue to do what he's doing. Went back inside, and he kept trying to come back in, and that's when things got what you see right now.
Mm-hmm. Now, people have criticized you, and I don't know what, there was a line you described your behavior from other people, chimping up?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
They call it chimping out.
Chimping out.
And it's pretty much something that this dude, Chud, the builder, is saying out, right now on Instagram. He's saying it online. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people say that about black people when we get upset.
So that in itself is racist, right?
I believe so, yeah.
You're referring to a monkey.
Pretty much.
And you're saying you're chimping up.
Chimping out.
Chimping out.
Chimping out, yeah.
I don't think I even want to learn that, so I ain't going to ever get it right. But they're criticizing you. How, though? It is your job to get someone out of a nightclub or bar if they are harassing people, and management, owners, staff want that person out. So why are you being criticized?
I guess because the photo looks very, like...
Let's put the photo up.
It looks like I knocked him out, honestly. But
and what happened? What was that physical encounter like?
Well,
when we take a look at that photo.
We were tussling, and he had his phone. He was trying to record me. I tried to get him to stop recording me. And the other guy beside me, he kind of put his foot out and tripped him, and we fell on the ground. And as I was getting up, he, you know what I'm saying? That's the picture you got right there. Mm-hmm. It's me getting off of him, because...
But it ain't like you beat the hell out of him.
Nah, I didn't punch him.
You didn't punch him.
I just put him on the ground, had him down, and I got up, and I walked away. Mm-hmm. That's it.
But people see that picture, and they assume you knocked his ass out.
Yeah, they assume I knocked him out. But I have never punched him.
But then they responded racially, saying you're chimping up or chimping out?
Chimping out. But I've been doing this for 2 years now, and I've never hit anybody. I've never physically put my hands on somebody. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I understand why some people would think that I would do that to somebody.
Now, the guy ain't dead, right? Is he alive?
He's alive. He walked off. I got the video. I'm going to post it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people keep asking me to post the video, so...
I tried to get it from you like I'm doing it on my Instagram first. The Instagram comes first. I'm like, man.
Well, yeah, I got to put it out there first, because everybody keeps asking about it, and they want to see it, so I'm going to drop it this week.
And for those who are wondering, they see a guy on the ground. White guy, Hispanic guy, Asian guy, what?
I don't remember. Like, I know he ain't Caucasian, okay? Let's just say he's probably Latin descent, but I don't really know. I already don't know his descent like that, but he wasn't Caucasian, because everybody keeps saying he was a white person.
Right. And so your thoughts are, you have a lot of Hispanic customers coming in, and you hear them using the N-word, not necessarily...
And vulgar.
Yeah, not necessarily in a way like with, people say, and I hate to do this, differentiating, the ER but they use it as part of their everyday language, but it becomes offensive when you say it.
The hard R. you know, with the hard R, right?
Yeah.
Not the N-I-G-G-A's with the hard R.
Okay.
That's when it becomes offensive.
Right.
And some people don't realize that, you know.
But either way it should be, but I mean, that's for another debate.
Yeah.
But your thoughts about individuals using that, and then when it becomes a very contentious situation like this, and then they use it, then it takes on a whole different meaning.
I agree. I agree, because honestly, we don't go around calling each other names like, I don't see, you know, wetbacks and stuff like that. Like I can say that.
We apologize for that. Come on, man. Come on. Don't fall into the same trap.
I'm not falling in the trap, but we don't go around calling nobody out their names, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's what I'm trying to say, you know. I just don't think it's right if you use it in a vulgar way to try to offend somebody.
And so when can we expect this video?
Oh, man, I got to work on it because it's a long video. But it should be, I'll post it this week.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we appreciate you dropping by, and of course, once again, we apologize for the term. All right.
I'm sorry, guys.
And we'll have your comments coming your way next here on The Factor Uncensored. Don't forget about it. Call that number. I can't see that number, but you should be able to see that number. Give us a call. I'm sorry, give us a text. Don't call us. We'll call you. We'll be back.
If you're injured here in Houston,
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Thank you for hanging in there with us. I'm going to read some of your comments here. In relation to the last interview we just had, one of the viewers said, lately, you've been correcting, apologizing, but I thought the show was called Uncensored. Not that damn uncensored. We don't want to offend anyone, but thank you for texting us here on The Factor Uncensored. One person said to the roasting comedy segment, defend the white man, sis, nothing wrong with black women defending the white man when the white man is, okay, let me get to the rest of that, when the white man is right. And that's from one of the viewers watching. Isiah don't come for blacks and we won't come for y'all. You heard that? Isiah don't come for blacks and we won't come for y'all. Also, we have more. What do you think George Floyd would think of that roasting joke? I thought the George Floyd joke was funny. All good roasts are packed with inappropriate jokes. That was racist to me no matter who okayed it. They wouldn't like it if a black man added Elvis to the roast, and I think I read that one already. Roast gone wrong. As a viewer, I find it very offensive. There was nothing funny about George Floyd's death. According to one of the viewers here, let's go back to the list. I told you we need an Android out here, Keyshawn Marshall, not an iPad or whatever you call this thing. Some person says that was just bad, sad, and disrespectful talking about the segment, the Kevin Hart roast. He should have made a joke about Trump getting his ear shot off. Oh my God, that's not nice. And of course, he went too far. Sadly, this type of behavior is acceptable in a culture-changed society. Not a funny joke with George Floyd. And those are some of your comments. And of course, we want to thank you guys for joining us and sending us your comment. We're going to do more of this throughout The Factor and remind you to follow us on social media. Specifically, we want you to go to that YouTube page at Isiah Factor Uncensored. Subscribe and follow us there. Also, check us out on Instagram, X, and of course, Facebook. And don't forget to download the Fox Soul app. You can catch The Factor Uncensored along with many other great programs, including Chatting with Chelsea, Fox Face Off, Nightcap, and many other great programs. But mainly, keep in mind, you're going there for The Factor Uncensored. All right, people? And once again, reminder, follow us on YouTube at Isiah Factor Uncensored and subscribe. Support us there. You can catch many of the episodes that you may have missed or some of the segments you may want to share with your friends. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night. Later.